Okay, perfect. So yeah, welcome everyone in all the rooms. I know we are translating this webinar in 12 languages, plus we're sharing this information on a Facebook group as well. So we are expecting a lot of people, especially those who purchased already iDecide, to watch this presentation or webinar right now or in recording. So this is going to be a very useful webinar for those who purchased the product already, and for those who are still questioning what is this product, how it can help you, how does it work, how is different from another product which we have launched as well recently called Smart Card. So I hope this particular webinar, or let's say a training, which will be run by one of the members of iDecide team, will help you to differentiate two products, and we will try to also to answer all your questions regarding this product. So without further ado, I want to give a floor to James McKinney, who is the Partner Success Manager for iDecide. And he's been working in iDecide since 2017, and he has a very interesting background, 8 years in corporate trainer for General Motors, former NASCAR driver and professional driving instructor. So if anyone needs to get the license, I guess you can still ask him for support, maybe not. Graduate of Youngstown State University and lives in Cortland, Ohio. OH means Ohio, maybe, with his wife, Kara. So he's joining us from America, and I hope he can hear us and he can come on and say hello to all of us. James, are you here?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Right,
Yes, perfect. I can see you as well. Hello.
Hello.
Early morning for you?
No, that's not bad. It's 10 o'clock. It's fine.
Oh, all right. So OH means Ohio, or what does it mean?
It's Ohio, yes.
Yes, I guessed it right. All right, James, I'm not going to take much time because we have 1 hour for this webinar. Okay. So I give the floor to you and you can do your magic.
Awesome. Can I share my screen? Will it allow me?
Yes. Yeah, you should. Yes, I can see your screen.
All right, perfect. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so welcome everybody. So happy to be here because a lot of you guys have been using iDecide already, which is fantastic. We've gotten some fantastic reviews from you guys who are using it, which is, again, great. So the purpose of the training today is to do a few things. It's basically to cover what is iDecide, because I know there are some people who don't yet have it and want to know more about it. So we'll touch on what it is and why it works so well. We'll also, for the people who have it already, we'll talk about how to use it. So what are the best ways to use it, how simple it is to use, really, and some best practices. So if you've been using it and you've hit some speed bumps, we can cover those as well. And then we'll also do a Q&A, of course, and answer any questions you might have. But iDecide is super simple to use, so it's important that I'm excited to share the information with you so that you see how simple it is and it can help you grow your business. So let's jump right in with what iDecide is and why it works so well. So here are some statistics on marketing and doing presentations. The first one is very scary because it says that 91% of people admit to daydreaming during presentations. So 9 out of 10 people admit to daydreaming. So that 9 out of 10 admit to it, which means that number is probably even higher, right? Because some people don't admit to it. So even this presentation, some of you guys already are checking your phone or on another browser window or checking your email, and that's just normal, right? Because our attention span is shrinking. And if you look at the attention span numbers online, people's attention span is 8 seconds. On a video, you have 90 seconds before you start to lose someone's attention, and even in person. So if you're meeting with someone at a coffee shop and sharing the Evorich story, you've got their attention for 5 minutes, and then their attention starts to fade. So this is why iDecide was created. It was created to to combat that attention span issue. So your issue is not the company, it's not the comp plan, it's not the product. You guys have all that. Your main opponent, I guess, is someone's attention span. So they may not pay attention long enough to hear about all the great stuff that you guys have. So we went to the drawing board with iDecide and said, what if presentations were fun? So people actually enjoyed watching them. What if they were professional and effective? What if they were short, right? Not 2 hours long. What if they were smart and provide the data so you can constantly improve the presentation and get the numbers and the analytics? And above all, what if presentations were duplicatable? Because here's the issue. And you guys probably know this, the number one fear most people have is not, well, it's public speaking, right? The number one fear, people are more afraid of speaking in public than they are of dying. So even if you're a great speaker and you do a fantastic presentation, the people that you recruit might see you, or potentially recruit, might see you doing this unbelievable presentation and actually get intimidated and say, well, no wonder they're doing well. I will never be that good. So they may not come on board with Evorich. So it's a great recruiting tool when you use iDecide, because people watch the presentation, they see that it's fun, they see that it's professional, and they say, well, I can do this. If all I have to do is send out presentations, I can do this. So it's a very duplicatable system. So that's iDecide. It's a personalized, so it has their person's name in it that you're sending the presentation to. It's short, it's fully automated, so you just, with a few clicks, and we'll cover how simple that is in a minute. With a few clicks, you send the presentation and it's done. Multimedia, so the graphics are incredible. It's a beautiful presentation, but above all, it's interactive. So the person watching it doesn't just sit there and passively watch a video or a presentation. They're actually engaging in the presentation. They're making choices in the presentation. They're answering questions. So they're taking control of the presentation and taking it where they want it to go. Now, if they're interacting with it, we've overcome that attention span issue, right? Because they're not going to fade away. They're going to pay attention. At some points, the presentation won't even move forward until you've answered a question or made a decision on your screen. So that's iDecide. Very simple to use. This screen has a lot of words, but it's very simple. You create it and send an iDecide with a text message, an email, a Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. Any way you would normally send a message, you can send an iDecide presentation. The prospect, when they see your link, they click it and their screen comes to life. They answer questions, choose to see only what they're interested in seeing. We talked about that. Here's another cool feature. You get text or email notifications letting you know that they started to watch it, and you'll get another one at the end when they finish. So you'll know, okay, you don't have to call people and say, hey, did you watch that link I sent you? Did you do this? You'll know when they watched it. And you'll also know when they didn't watch it. So if you follow up with them and say, hey, I sent you a link, and they say, oh yeah, I watched it, you'll know they didn't really watch it because you didn't get the notification. So it provides that information for you. You'll also see the status on your dashboard next to that person's name. So in one simple place, you'll see if it was sent, if it was watched, what their choices were at the end. And we'll even send you follow-up reminders. So 1, 3, and 5 days later, you'll get another email or a text letting you know, hey, it's been 3 days since John watched the presentation. Have you followed up with him? If you have, there's a little button there. You click the button and it'll stop the future notifications. So it's very intuitive and very informative. It lets you keep control of your business. So that's some of the things that it does and what it is. And here are some of the results. So we know it works. We've had reports of 70 to 80% close rates in the first 45 days. One company we started with was only recruiting 500 people a month before iDecide. In the first 2 weeks after launching iDecide, they recruited 2,000. So we just exponentially grew their recruiting numbers. One of our users said they have a 90% close rate when set up correctly with prospects, and we'll talk exactly about what that means. Someone else, 25 years full-time in network marketing, never seen as much excitement and energy as they have with the launch of iDecide. So bottom line is iDecide works. Now, you guys are brand new to iDecide. So we launched the presentation, and now we'll review the analytics and the data and see which parts of it are working, which parts are losing people, and we'll continually refine the presentation. And we'll talk about that later as well. So the presentation will continually be improved upon. But here's another cool thing about iDecide. You don't have to worry that I sent a link to someone in November and now changes were made in December. When changes are made to the presentation, they're updated in real time. So all presentations are updated, regardless of when they were sent. You don't have to send them another one. You don't have to say, hey, that one's outdated, this one's better or brand new, or if your comp plan changes, or if anything changes and the presentation changes, your information, your presentations that are floating around out there will always be 100% accurate. Next time they click on it to watch it, they'll see the most up-to-date presentation. So just a little side note there, another cool feature about iDecide. So let's jump into how to use it. It's very simple to use. So I'll just run through a couple of screenshots just to show you. So let's walk through exactly how to send a presentation, and you'll see how simple it is. So first time you log in, you're going to see this screen, right? Because you have nobody in your names list, no contacts entered yet. So you can either add somebody by clicking this button here, asking you to add someone, or you can click here anytime to add a contact. Once you do that, a screen is going to come up and ask you to enter their name. So the only required field here is the person's first and last name. Now, you don't even really need their last name because it doesn't appear in the presentation. The first name does. So it's important that you enter a name. But if you just met someone at a supermarket and you want to send them a presentation, but you only know their name is Mike, don't worry about it. Just put in Mike Supermarket, and that's fine. But you can put in their email address, phone number. You can put some notes in here. I met Mike at the supermarket on Monday, November 5th. And then you click save. And now, Mike, this contact will appear in your contact list. Now, notice to the right, it gives you the status of that contact. So it tells you you've never sent a presentation to Mike yet. And that's okay. So now you want to send one to Mike, you click on Mike's name and a pop-up appears. His name will already be in there. And now you just click the presentations button, the drop-down, to choose which presentation you'd like to send. So right now we have several different presentations for you. We're adding more as we go. So right now you would say, okay, Mike, I want to send the English presentation to, click English, and boom. A link was created specifically for Mike. So this is a unique link with Mike's name in it already. And you can either choose to copy a short message along with the link in it, or you can copy only the link, only the URL. And then you'll choose, okay, how do I want to get updates and notifications, either email or text? Copy that email, link to the clipboard, and boom, you're done. You'll see now your contact list was updated. So now Mike says it was sent, and it tells you the time you sent it and which presentation you sent him. So that was it. In literally 3 clicks, you've created a personalized presentation for this person. And now you can paste that presentation anywhere you like. You can paste that link into a WhatsApp, a Facebook message, a text, an email, wherever you like. So very, very simple, as you can tell. We made it so simple for anyone to do it. Now, when Mike clicks the link, this is what he's going to see. You see it already has Mike's name in it, and it has your name in it. So this is just an example, but it'll have your name and your email address on the presentation as well. And all he does is click the play button and the presentation begins. So he doesn't have to enter any information. He doesn't have to do anything. He just clicks the link and sees his name in it right from the start. That alone increases engagement 3-fold, right? When you send someone a video, they don't see their name in it. They say, oh, another video. When they see an iDecide, now we've got their attention. Remember, we talked about the attention span. As soon as they see their name, they're going to say, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. And they're going to click the play button and start to watch it. When they do, your contact list is updated again. So remember, you'll get the notification that you requested through email or text, and it will tell you, Mike just started to watch your presentation. But you can also see in your contact list that Mike started watching it, and it tells you the time he started watching it and which presentation he's watching. So you can keep track of your business in one place. Right from this dashboard, you'll see all the names, what the status is, who's watched it, who's finished it, who hasn't started yet. The people that you see have not started watching yet, you can give them a call, say, hey, don't forget, I sent you that link. I know life gets in the way, but just it's an amazing presentation. You got to check it out. You're going to love it. And just give them a quick reminder. So everything can be done right from this dashboard right here. So the other option to send a presentation, that's sending a personalized presentation to someone directly, which we highly, highly, highly recommend. The other option is to choose this here, which is called post a link. And this is where you would use it if you want to post a presentation on social media, put it in a landing page, add it into an email campaign, whatever, when you don't have that person's name yet. And you'll create the presentation the same way. When you click on post a link, a box will appear asking you, click the drop-down menu, which presentation do you want to create? And then you click next. Now, the difference here is when the person clicks the link that you created with a post a link, they're going to be required to enter their information. So it's going to ask them, remember when Mike clicked the link that we sent him? His name appeared automatically. His name was already in the presentation. All he has to do is click it and watch it. When you use post a link, it's going to ask them to enter their information before they watch the presentation. And the required fields here are their first and last name and their email address. Now, the reason for this, of course, is so that the name will be inserted into the presentation. So if Sue watches this presentation, she enters Sue Smith and her email address. Sue, as soon as she clicks watch, Sue will automatically appear in the presentation, just like Mike's did previously. So it's got that personalization effect to it. But it also adds Sue's name to your contact list. So she enters her name, her email address, clicks watch, and boom, now she watches the presentation as well. So the same, it's the same presentation, it's just a different beginning, right? The post a link requires them to enter the name and email address. When you create it specifically for an individual, they don't have to enter anything. She clicks play to watch it, and now Sue is added to your contact list, and it tells you when she watched it, same as it did earlier with Mike. So same end result, but an additional step is required to capture Sue's name. So, and that's important, right? Because you have to know, because you'll still get the notifications. Sue started watching it. Sue's name is in the presentation. You now have her information to follow up with her. You will not get as good results with post a link as you will if you create the link specifically for an individual, right? Because naturally, whenever you ask anyone to enter data, any of their information, the rates are going to drop, right? People are going to be leery of it. So if you use post a link, the key to using it effectively is to make sure you don't just send somebody a link and they click it and they see you're trying to gather their information. They're not going to do it, right? The key to making it effective is to send a message along with it. So if you're posting it on Facebook, for example, you'll post the link there, but also put a personal message so that you give them something enticing, a reason to want to watch it, to want to enter their information. So maybe just a short message that says, hey, this company is growing like crazy. It's incredible. It's changed my life. You're going to love this interactive presentation. It's super fun. Click the link below. And now they'll click it. Now they are more apt to enter their information because you've gotten them excited about it. So that will, I just don't want you to think that all you have to do is click post a link, create a general link, and send it to 1 million people, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and be wealthy. That's not going to happen, right? So you have to use it the best way possible, and we'll talk about that. So here, if you use post a link, include a message that will make them want to enter their info and watch it. So for an example, this interactive presentation will blow your mind. You'll thank me later. Something that's going to make them say, man, I'm really curious about this. I really want to see what they're talking about. Yeah, so post a link won't be as effective, so you'll need to make sure you send a message with it. The other way to send a presentation is by using our app. So we've got a free app on Android or iOS, and it's the iDecide interactive app. You just click the app, you'll enter your information to log in the same way you do on our website. You have a contact screen there as well, so you can enter a new contact. The cool thing about this, the app, is you can import contacts directly from your phone. So if you choose to import it, if you choose a new contact, you'll enter the information manually, just like you did earlier, and then click save, right? The same way you did on the web-based version. But you can also, as I said, import, which is very cool, because it allows you to decide whether you want to include import one person or multiple people. So it's not, and the cool thing too is you can choose which people you want to import. So I can choose to include these people, import these, but maybe I don't want to include my dad, right? So I'm not going to check dad. I don't want to send a presentation to grandma. So I can go through my contacts and select the ones that I want to upload and then click done. And those people will be added to your contact list on the app and on the web-based version. So it's automatic sync, and you'll see you still get the status here. Was it sent? It hasn't been sent yet. And then the same thing, you can click on their name and say, decide if you want to text them a presentation or email them a presentation. So it works very similarly to the web-based platform, but the added feature or benefit is you can upload contacts directly from your phone. You can still import people on the web-based version as well, but you'll need a CSV or an Excel file to do that. Much easier on the app, just upload them directly from your phone. All right, I know I'm going fast, but I want to leave time for Q&A. And then again, the same way, you can decide whether you want to text or email them. If you click text, your text application is going to open up, so you'll send them a text directly from your phone. And again, you can choose the message, so whether it's Android or iOS, very simple to use, and you simply send it. So the personal link is in there. Now remember, when you are creating a link for an individual, like this one was created for John Doe, make sure you only send it to John Doe, right? Make sure you only send the presentations of the person that they were created for. Because you don't want to send this link to everyone, and then they're going to open it and see John's name in it. So not effective, just a side note. We can cover some best practices and tips, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. So number one, please watch the tutorial. So when you log in for the first time, a box will appear saying, and the tutorial will be right there to click play. But you can also just click the tutorial button anytime you like. There's an FAQ button right on your dashboard, so we can answer your questions right away. 98% of the questions that come up are answered in the tutorial. So very informative, very short, right? They're all very short, so you can watch them all in less than 5 minutes, I think. So please watch the tutorials. iDecide is not a video, so please don't refer to it as one. We say iDecide is what videos want to be when they grow up. So it's not a video, and the reason we say don't refer to it as a video, and I understand that people need to have some context. They don't know what it is. They've never seen anything like it. There literally is nothing on the market like iDecide. So people don't have any concept of what the heck it is. So they say it's a video. It's not a video. And when you refer to it as a video, it cheapens the prospect's impression of the presentation. So if you tell someone I'm going to send you a video, they're going to think, oh, another video, right? But if you say, hey, I'm going to send you an interactive presentation that you're going to click through and interact with and have fun with, they're going to say, what? I've never seen anything like that. And they're going to be looking forward to it. So if you refer to it as a video, it just makes it sound lesser than it is, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with videos, especially if they're short, right? We actually include some videos in our presentations, but they should be less than 90 seconds, right? Because that's been proven to be the attention span of a video. And so we include videos in iDecide presentations, but if you tell someone it's a video, or if you tell your team, hey, you should sign up for the iDecide platform, it's got cool videos, they're gonna say, well, I already have videos. Why do I need to get something else? It's not a video by any stretch. It's not an MP4 file. It's a you've seen that every presentation that's created is a unique URL that's created specifically for that individual. So just a little tip there. You'll have much greater success if you refer to it as an interactive presentation as opposed to a video. Some people don't receive the notifications and they say, hey, I'm not getting the email notifications. Well, check your spam folder, right? Sometimes the notifications go to spam. Once you click on that they're not spam, you'll continue to get the future ones. If you're not getting them, make sure your email and phone number are correct in our system. So there, you just go to the account section and you'll see your email and phone number. So that happens a lot. Sometimes people aren't getting the text notifications and they find that their phone number is not entered correctly. Also keep in mind the notifications are sent when the presentation is started, not when the link is opened. So what does that mean? Well, we saw the screen earlier that said, welcome Mike, or thanks Mike, and then it has the big play button. So if they click your link, then that box will appear on their screen. That's when they opened the link. They have not started the presentation yet, right? They don't start the presentation until they click that play button. So you'll get the notification when the presentation is started, not when it's opened. So that causes some confusion sometimes because somebody might click the link, the presentation appears, but they haven't started it yet. It's when they start it that you'll get the notifications. So just a side note there. We covered this already. Send a personalized presentation, not a post a link whenever possible. The open rates are much, much higher when it's personalized. The success rates go through the roof when it's personalized versus post a link. So I know it takes a couple of steps more, but isn't it worth it? If it takes you 10 seconds to enter their name and go through those 3 clicks to create a link, but your results are going to be so much greater, isn't it worth it? So not that post a link is bad, but I'm just telling you, I want to manage your expectations. Because again, people think they can just post something on Facebook and they're going to wake up tomorrow with a team of thousands. And it's just not going to happen. That's the world we live in. People are skeptical of entering their information anywhere. So set it up correctly on Facebook or wherever you post it, and your rates will be better. But if you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, it might be a better idea to say, okay, who are the top 50 that I engage with the most, that like my comments, that share my posts the most, and then create individual links for them and send them through Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I created this presentation specifically for you. It's interactive. You're going to love it. Let me know what you think when you watch it. It's short. It's fun. There's that prepping, right? That personal message along with it, and your success rates will go through the roof. All right. Don't just send someone a presentation link, send a presentation, a personal message along with it. We covered this briefly. So the message could be just something telling them about why you're excited about it. This is the company I was telling you about. And by the way, it's even better to prep them verbally, right, over the phone or in person, so that they know it's coming and they're looking forward to watching it. That's the key. You saw in the beginning where somebody who uses iDecide said they have a 90% close rate when it's set up correctly. This is the setup we're talking about. So she was calling people on the phone and saying, I started with this company. I'm excited about it. It's changed my life. They're doing some amazing things to help people. And bang, she would say, I'm going to send you a quick interactive presentation for you to watch. You'll have fun with it. And that was the setup. And then they would click the link and the presentation would do its job. So just set it up correctly and you'll have a lot more success. This is where I said, even better still, prepare them verbally. 90% close rates when prepped correctly. But here's a key though, don't tell them too much, right? That's what the presentation is for. Tell them why you're excited, why they're gonna love the presentation. But remember, don't get into an entire question and answer session with them. Don't get into a presentation. Just tell them about why you're excited, that you're gonna send them a cool interactive presentation that'll answer all their questions. And then we can talk afterwards. So you want to set it up correctly, but don't go too far and do a presentation. Let the iDecide do the presentation part. Follow-up is key. It's not a magic bullet, right? So again, a lot of people think, well, I could send this to 1,000 people and I'm going to be a millionaire. No, you have to follow up. This is a people business. It will always be a people business. So there will always be that communication, that interaction, that bond between people. So when you see someone's watched it, follow up with them. Hey, I saw you watch the iDecide presentation I sent you. It's unbelievable, isn't it? And you go through the follow-up process that you normally would. So follow-up is key. That's why we provide those notifications for you, so you'll know when to follow up. Housekeeping rule: do not record an iDecide presentation. That's illegal. It's a copyright infringement. You cannot record a presentation. You can't post a recording of the presentation anywhere. It's a violation of our terms of use. It could also cause compliance problems for your company, because one of the great things about iDecide is that the presentation is approved by the Evorich compliance department. So if you start to record sections of it, you're creating your own presentation, basically, and could be an issue for compliance. So it's a violation of our terms of use. It could cause problems for your company. We'll be forced to file copyright infringements claims. We don't want to do that. You know, we've seen people post a recording of it on YouTube. We've had to file a complaint against YouTube. It puts a strike on their account. I mean, we don't want to do that. So it can only be used within the iDecide system. That's the only allowable use of an iDecide presentation. And so, yeah, just don't use it any other way, just to keep things legal and keep everyone out of trouble. So we want you to use it. We want you to have fun with it. We want you to promote it. You get paid for it, right? So the iDecide subscription gets paid through your comp grid. So yeah, we want to do whatever we can to help you use it more effectively, to help you get better at it. Our trainers are available. So if you've got a team and you want us to do a training for your team, we're happy to do that. We can schedule that for you. And finally, presentations will continue to be improved based on the data. So I mentioned that earlier. So we're just coming up on 1 month now where you guys have been using the presentations. So we're going to be reviewing the analytics to see exactly where people are, or what people are clicking, what they're watching, what they're not watching, where they're falling off if they are, what the close rates are. And those presentations will constantly be improved upon. So you also, by the way, have analytics in your back office. So you can click on the button and see how many presentations you've sent, how many were opened, what the results were. So it's a great way for you to keep track of your own business. So we will review with Evorich the overall data. So we'll know company-wide how many presentations are done, where they're falling off, what the close rates are. You can see your own information by simply clicking on the analytics button in your back office, in your iDecide back office. And you'll see exactly what your statistics are. So if you send 20 presentations, you can then look at your analytics and say, okay, I sent 20, but only 8 were opened. Well, that means, okay, I've got to put a more enticing message in there because people aren't clicking the link. If people are clicking it and watching it, but the results aren't great at the end, now you say, okay, who am I sending these to? What is their demographic? Are they the target market that I'm looking for? Because they are not responding to the presentation favorably. So it allows you to kind of analyze your business by simply clicking the analytics tab. Any support you need, we are here for you. So if you need help with iDecide, our email address is hi@idecide.com. Don't call Evorich asking them questions. Don't call your upline. That's our job. We don't want to, we don't want your team calling you and asking you a million questions about iDecide. We take that for you. We take on the support for you. If you like training done for your team, shoot us an email. We'll get back to you. There's also a link there's a button right in your iDecide back office for support. So if you have questions while you're in the back office, click that button, shoot us a message that way. But again, don't forget, 98% of the questions can be answered in the tutorial. So we're happy to help, and we'll answer within 48 hours. Typically, it's a lot quicker than that, but we like to under-promise and over-deliver. So we say within 48 hours. If you need an answer quicker than that, just click on the FAQs of the tutorials. You'll probably be able to find your answer there. But we are here for you, and we want to help you. Okay, that was a lot. So I think we have Q&A. Okay, cool. So let's go through Q&A. Is it possible for a text option when it opens to have also WhatsApp option? I'm not sure I understand the question. So you can send a presentation through WhatsApp, right? You would just create the link, copy it, open up your WhatsApp application, and then paste it right into that. So you can absolutely send it through WhatsApp, if that was the question. Hope that was the question.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. First of all, it was amazing, and actually, it for me it even was very educational. I learned a lot of good tips and things that I didn't even know the way we can do these things, and how we can use this particular product. I can see Alena has posted also the application, which we can find on a Google Play. So is it just on a, I believe Google Play is only for Samsung. Do you work also on iPhones?
Yes,
Or
absolutely. The app, yes, on both, yes.
On both, yeah, because I have it on my phone as well, and it's actually very good and quick access to this product, to these presentations. So for those who are using it, do download it as well for your phone, so you don't have to go on the website and look for the link. So you just can go on the application, and it's pretty easy to use. Actually, it's very straightforward as well on the application. Marshall, if you can rephrase your question. Or at least tell us if James answered your question, that would be great. If not, then you can rephrase maybe this question. And I can't see many more questions here in English room. Maybe translators can pass some questions from the other rooms, if there is any. Meantime, I can ask you the questions from my side, which has been asked from our leaders so far. So you mentioned that there is a success rate in the first 45 days, 70 to 80%, which is quite a big number. It's a high number. You kind of partially already answered the question, which was, which I knew probably it's a cause for not having this success, is the fact that our leaders actually were posting this link on a Facebook group, a Facebook page, and where they have like thousands of followers or thousands of people in the Facebook list, as they call it. But like what I received as a feedback was that like almost none watched the presentation. So what would be your short answer? Is this the fact that the posting in the Facebook page doesn't work, and as you already said, it will work only with that kind of success rate when they send it personally? Or what other maybe issues could be there, why there was such an unsuccessful result?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mentioned the setup, right? So what are you posting along with the link? So that message has to really entice them to want to enter it, to enter their information and watch the presentation. So if people are clicking it, but then not entering their information, then that message beforehand has to be stronger, right? But if they're not even clicking it, same thing, the message needs to be stronger. There has to be a reason. So that 70 to 80% success rate that we were talking about with that one company, they were doing mostly direct presentations where they were taking the time to create their contact, send the presentation directly to them, so they didn't need to enter any information. So to answer your question, I would consider doing two things. Number one, changing the message that went along with the posting, the post, to make it more enticing. And two, as I mentioned earlier, take maybe the top 50 that you see are the most engaging and the most active on that group, in that group, and sending that to them directly, and let's see what those numbers are and see if there's a huge difference, because I think they will see a big difference if they send them individually. So if I sent you a message, a Facebook message directly saying, hey, I think you're going to love this, click on it, it's interactive, it's fun, you're going to be blown away, you'd probably open it, right? Especially if you didn't have to enter your name, because your name is already in there. But if I say, hey, click on this link, you're going to love it, and then the data capture box appears, now you're going to take a second to think, do I really want to? So it just changes things when I don't have to enter that information.
And
Now,
here, yeah, and here was the second question regarding the data collection when people have to put in the data. This was this has come up as a kind of a question mark for a lot of our partners, saying that, you know, not like, especially Russian speaking, I don't know, but it comes from the Russian speaking countries and from Italian speaking country, Italians from Italian country partners. They're saying that people are very concerned of giving the data right at the beginning of the presentation. They would prefer it to have it in the middle of the presentation or at the end of the presentation. So because they think that this is the problem, they think that this is the issue why people are not watching the presentation, because of that first page where they have to put the information in.
okay, well, we can do two things. So it's something you and I, we can talk about offline, where we can have it so that they don't have to, they're not required to enter any information. So we can have a version of the presentation that doesn't require that at all. Two problems with that are you're not going to, it won't have their name in it, right? Because we don't know their name, and it won't add their name to your contact list, so you won't be able to follow up. You'll get the notifications that someone is watching, but you won't know who. So it's a solution, but it's more of a band-aid instead of a real fix. Or we can do, as you said, we can change the presentation to where it shows them part of it and then requires them to enter the information, then shows them the rest. So we can try that as well if you want. We can split test that to see if it performs better.
All right, because yeah, when I asked initially, I was told that, you know, there is no option that it has to be there at the first page, no, on the first page, because what leaders also say is that maybe we can ask them to put just the name, not the name and surname, and maybe we don't have to kind of put the emails. Because email is necessary. A phone number, I think it was optional, right? So they don't have to put the phone number, but if they have to put their name, surname, and email, some country, like people in some countries are very concerned of doing that. So yeah, this is what they wanted to find out, if this can be somehow altered or edited or put in somewhere in the middle of the presentation where you think it would go the best. If it's just a name, if it's just a name at the beginning of the presentation, that's fine. You know, they are okay with that. But name, surname, and email, it's too much to ask at the beginning, I believe. No, but that's what they believe.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely look at that. As I said, we're going to be reviewing your analytics now that we're 1 month in. So we'll do a call where we can review those together and see exactly how many postal links were created, how many were open. So we'll know exactly what those numbers are. And if in fact it is a major issue, we'll definitely address it and come up with solutions.
Perfect. I hope Italian team leaders and Russian speaking partners are hearing this, which is a good news for us. So there is an option how we can alter this particular situation. And Olga is saying that there is a question in the Italian room. So Olga, if you can share the question. And someone asked, 90% conversion rate, how many of those made the purchase? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, in that case, that was a conversion rate. So I believe that company was looking, there were 3 options at the end that they considered a close, were to purchase, join, or schedule a follow-up call. So the options at the end of the presentation were join, buy, schedule an informational call, or I'm not interested at all. So 9 out of 10 of those people had clicked one of those positive 3 outcomes: buy, join, or schedule a call. So that was their conversion rate. And that will change with everybody, right? Again, I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I just want to let you know, I want to give you the confidence in the tool to let you know that the tool works, right? It's never a matter of does iDecide work? Of course it works. It's just a matter of does the presentation work in its current form? If it's not performing to its optimal, to its best, we'll make changes to it and constantly improve it. So it's not a question of will the Evorich presentation work? It definitely will. It's just a matter of just giving us time to revise it based on the analytics and the feedback, just like we're doing now. So for sure.
Well, I personally also think that these days everything is built on a relationship. So we cannot expect that posting like a link somewhere to some presentation between thousands of people, they will click on it. They most likely just gonna go past this and see what else you have posted on a page or someone else. So I also kind of recommend to my partners, to my leaders, to do the first interaction, speak to the person first, build that kind of a relationship or break the ice, and then somehow find a way how they can why would they need to watch the presentation. The way I do is if I post some products from our company or some information about some news or whatever is coming out and they are liking or commenting, so I'm checking if the person is not in our business. I'm having a contact with the person and I say, as you just recommended, hey, I saw you like my post. Hey, I saw you commented on my recent post about this and that. Here is like an interactive presentation which can give you an even more better idea of what we do and what is the product and etc. So this is what I guess you are recommending as well, instead of just posting and spamming as well people with the links.
Yes, exactly. That's why that's why we actually include the person's name, so the sender's name in the presentation right in the beginning, because we don't want you to spam, right? It doesn't work. It makes us all look bad. It makes Evorich look bad. It makes iDecide look bad. So we want to discourage you from spamming, because I'm sure as Evorich does. So yeah, it doesn't work and it just makes us all look bad. So definitely set it up properly, the warm introduction. As you said, it's always going to be a relationship business. So it's not a magic bullet. It's not going to just be send a million of these and be a millionaire. It's an incredible tool, but it's a tool, right? A hammer is a great tool. Somebody has to swing the hammer and it has to be used in the right way for it to work, or else, it's just not going to work. So same thing with iDecide, same thing with any marketing tool. It has to be used the right way and then it works perfectly.
We need to help to create the magic,
Right,
as we say, right?
Yes.
So Amelia is saying that this is a great idea to move the information paragraph to the middle of the presentation.
Okay, good.
Richard is asking a question. What is the difference in the status of the presentation as opened, started, responded, and sent?
Oh, okay, so when you're referring to in your contact list next to the person's name, it'll say whether it was open, sent. So the first, as soon as you create the presentation, it's going to say sent, right? So of course you sent it, but they haven't opened it yet. When they click the link to see that play button, and it says, welcome, John, that means they opened it. When they click the button, the play button, that will change it to started, right? Because now they've started to watch it. And once they finished it, it will show you the result at the end. So there are 4 different statuses of the presentation. Sent, open, started, finished.
Yes, and I also want to mention that, which I didn't know, is when you are receiving this email notification that someone has finished the presentation, this notification will come up, I think 3 times. I don't know how often it was, every 2 days or every 3 days. So unless you click in the email that you have responded or you have followed up, this email notification keep coming back, I think 3 or 4 times, if you can correct me. So you have to actually open up the email. And if you do follow up with the person, just click on that. I have already done it. So you won't receive it again and again.
Yeah, we don't want to bury you in texts and emails, but we do want to remind you, because things get in the way. Life happens, right? And you say, oh, I forgot to follow up with that person. And follow up is very important. So yeah, just click it and it'll turn off. There's also a little button in your back office that'll tell you whether you followed up with them or not. So if you do click that button in the notification, it will change it in the status. So next to the status, you'll see followed up and the follow-up button will be checked. So it'll tell you again, even just by looking at that contact list, you'll see just the whole list and who you have or have not followed up with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there is someone asking for the lifetime subscription, because not many knew about this product. They didn't understand that, and they didn't know how it works. So they ask us to consider to launch again for a lifetime subscription. Well, we can talk about that, I guess, so with James, yeah. Once we finish and see maybe some surprises we can agree on.
And guys, can I ask you just to take a 2-second pause before like switching over, because we need the interpreter to finish translating one of you before starting translating the other one. Okay.
Yes, sure,
Thanks.
Dennis.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the issue with running the promotion again is anyone who has purchased between the last time and this time for the full price is now going to be upset and ask, and they're going to say, well, I didn't get the promotion. Now it's run again. I want to change it. So it becomes a little bit of an admin nightmare, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's also actually a good point to it. Well, we can see what kind of Christmas deal we can come up with. Any other questions in other rooms? Do we have anything? From my side, what else comes up?
We have a question in the Italian room, whether the contacts are created by you or is it done automatically? And then the Italians are also asking to share the link to download the application.
Okay, so the links are, I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
The first one, whether you automatically create, or whether the contact list is created automatically, or better, should we look for, just give me a second. Just give a second, because there is a difference between entering the contacts manually and like letting the app look for your prospects, because Italians, that's how the literal translation is, whether you have to look for prospects yourself or whether the app does it for you. Or maybe the other meaning is whether the app creates the contact list automatically or whether you have to create it. And the second one was, I don't remember anymore. So let's wait for
it was some sort of link for some app.
Yeah, the direct link, yes, to download the application.
So Dennis, I'm posting this link in the comment section.
Okay.
So in Italian.
It's Google Play, right?
Yeah.
So as far as uploading the contacts, you can either add them manually by clicking the add contact button, or you can upload them from your phone on the app, and that will do it automatically. You don't have to enter each one individually. So you can click multiple contacts in your phone and upload those all to the system at one time. So I don't know if that's what they mean by automatically, but it won't go into your phone and automatically upload all of the contacts. No, you'll have to tell it which ones you want to upload. That way it keeps your privacy intact and only adds the ones to the list that you actually want to contact. So if that's the question, I apologize if I'm misunderstanding it, but.
So there is another question
Yes, thank
here.
you. That's the answer.
Great. So there's another question here from Richard. Will it be good to remind people who just opened but not started the video to watch it, or take that as a rejection?
Richard, you just called it a video. Didn't you watch this presentation? iDecide is not a video. But I know it's tempting to call it that because you have no other frame of reference. So I understand, but just try and break the habit. Because again, if you tell someone to send you a video, they're going to say, I get a million videos. Tell them I'm going to send you a cool interactive presentation. It automatically upgrades the experience before they even start to watch it. So it's framing the presentation before they even watch it. So just to check there. So I would definitely not take it as a rejection just because they didn't start to watch it, because again, life happens. So I do that all the time, right? Someone sends me even a text message. I'll see their text message, I'll click it and I'll say, okay, I'll answer that later when I get home or when I get back to my desk. And then life happens and I forget to even answer them. And then they send me another nasty text later saying, hey, you forgot about me. So it may not be an intentional rejection. It might just be that they watched it and they said, oh, this looks cool. I'll watch it when I can. And then they don't get to it, right? So same thing happens if they start. I would definitely follow up and say, hey, don't forget, I sent you that cool interactive presentation, just a reminder. I saw that you haven't watched it yet, you're gonna love it. Same thing as if they start to watch it. So if you see in your list or your notifications that they started but didn't finish, I would also follow up and say, hey, I see you started to watch it, but you didn't get a chance to finish. Because the same thing, things happen. Maybe they started to watch it and the doorbell rang, or the dog started barking and the kids started crying. And they said, I'm going to finish this later. And then they just forget. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of follow-up. And unless they say, yeah, I saw it and I'm really not interested, I say, okay, cool, no problem. Just wanted to make sure it didn't slip through the cracks. So I would definitely follow up and not take it as a rejection unless they truly mean it as a rejection.
Yeah, something can happen, maybe some internet interruption, or I don't know, they got called from someone or something, there's always some maybe interruptions from outside world that can affect the reasons why they didn't watch it till the end. One more thing that you didn't mention, but it is about the final stage where they choose the options to make a registration. We have the option to make a scheduled call, or the third option is no, thank you, I'm not interested. But there is follow-up, but we have created like this marketing campaign for 21 days, right? So they are receiving 7 emails every 3 days or something like that. So how effective this marketing campaign has been in different companies?
You were actually the first one to get that. So we built that specifically for.
Could you please come again? I'm sorry, James. Again, I didn't hear the first bit. Thank you.
I'm sorry. So you guys are the first ones to have that marketing drip follow-up campaign or drip campaign. And we're finishing the translations that you sent us. So that whole system will be launched next week. And yeah, so that we'll have even more data. So yeah, you guys are the only ones to have that.
Amazing. So you're going to be doing the presentations afterwards to other companies saying how, great success was for us, I hope.
That's right.
With this marketing campaign.
That's right. Yeah, and that was actually your idea when we first started working with you, that we have that follow-up drip campaign. So we actually built it specifically for you guys. So
great. Thank you. All right, so we are coming to kind of the end of this webinar training. Is there any other question in other rooms that we haven't answered yet? Anything you want to add meantime, James, while we're getting the feedback from the other rooms?
No, again, just don't be afraid to reach out to us. Send us an email. We're here for you. We want to hear from you, whether it be questions, feedback, whatever, good, bad. We want to hear it all because that's how we improve. So we look forward to your input and your feedback, and encourage your team. I've seen this happen where some people don't use iDecide because they are a good presenter, and they think, well, I don't have to use iDecide. I know how to present. And that may very well be true. But remember, your business is duplication. You want to make it seem very easy for people to do the business. And they may not be great presenters. So I encourage you to use iDecide even if you are a great presenter, because that people will recruit the way they were recruited. They will join how they were, it's just a duplication, right? So if you're doing a presentation instead of using iDecide, they will try to do a presentation instead of using iDecide. And they will most likely fail because most people are not good speakers. And the shame of it is you won't even know that that's why they quit, right? They're not going to tell you. They try to do a presentation. They didn't do it well. They got embarrassed or humiliated because the result was not good, and they just disappear. So I just encourage you to use it even if you are a good presenter. Even though you don't need to, you should, for their benefit, not yours.
Right, good advice. It's all down to duplication and make it simple and easy, right? Well, I see we don't have any other questions. So I guess we can end for today.
Okay.
Thank you very much, James, for being here, tuning in from America and sharing your knowledge and information. I think many things got cleared up, and probably we will have to see you sometime again. Because hopefully after this webinar, people, our leaders, understood a little bit better this tool, how to use it properly. So I hope we all going to start using it the way we should use it, and we get good results, which we can share to our leaders, to our structures, to our business. And then we will have more people joining, and then probably we will have to do something similar, some similar webinar.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.